Hello there, it's a rather wet and miserable Thursday morning. I'm FX Plu and this is the market brief. So Brexit deal or no deal? That remains the main focus right now. Spokesman for Johnson was on yesterday. He confirmed that the UK's position over that internal market bill remains unchanged. Strong words indeed. But you'll remember that back a couple of months ago when the bill was first passed through Parliament, Brussels saw that very much as a breach of the agreement that the UK and the EU already had in place. But of course, since then, the topic has rather drifted away from the headlines. The reason for that is because the bill was always intended to clarify the passage of goods between the mainland and Northern Ireland in the event of no deal. Now, of course, both sides are strongly committed to finding a deal, getting a deal that works for both sides. And as such, the internal market bill may well become a moot point. However, perhaps it's raised again now as a friendly reminder and a timely reminder to the EU of yet another unsavoury element of a no-deal outcome. A friendly warning, perhaps at a time where they need a little more motivation to push the two sides together towards a deal before that month-end deadline that is looming large. All the Brexit excitement at the beginning of the week drove sterling higher. The positivity from Monday saw sterling move up over 134 against the US dollar. The last time we were there, it was after the general election. After the general election last year. The bubble has since burst, obviously as concerns over no-deal Brexit affect the market sentiment. Johnson and Sunak both repeated their claim that the UK would flourish even without a deal. So the rhetoric around no deal is certainly ramping up. The EU didn't want to be left on the sidelines, and Michel Barnier pushed back against the earlier sense of optimism, saying that despite the underlying economic conditions being challenging for both sides, Brussels will not be rushed into an agreement. The EU won't be rushed into action. Classic EU. So as you'd expect against that kind of backdrop, sterling sold off a little. We saw lows yesterday of about 132.85 against the US dollar, and we dropped down to just over the 110 mark against the euro. Both currency crosses have recovered a little. We opened this morning around 133.85 against the dollar and around 110.50 against the euro. But, warning to the wise, it may be a precursor of a little bit more increased market volatility that is only too likely as that deadline fast approaches over the next couple of weeks or so. In the US, it's all pretty quiet at the moment, perhaps a lasting hangover from the holiday season, but the focus this week is very much around employment data. The ADP private sector employment report showed about 307,000 new jobs were created in November. That was down about 100,000 jobs from the October report. We've got weekly jobless claims due out later today. They're expected to remain pretty similar to last week, where we saw around 775,000 new claims registered. But tomorrow's non-farm payrolls is always the main event. So start limbering up for that sweepstake will be holding the monthly highlight again tomorrow. Current forecasts suggest around 500,000 new jobs were created outside of the farming sector. That, of course, is down from 638,000 that took the pot in November. We had an away win last month, so we're keen to bring the glory back home to Currency Transfer HQ. Personally, I'm thinking we might see a downside miss this month, but what do I know? It's been a long time since I was anywhere near the sweepstake top step. But have a think. I'll be tapping you up for sure, and we'll have the sweepstake hosted on LinkedIn again tomorrow. Meanwhile, the euro continues to head higher and higher. It continued its ascent yesterday as well, much to the dismay of the ECB, no doubt. Euro dollar has strengthened further, and we saw 121.15 yesterday. And again, we open around that high once again this morning. Right, that's it from me today. Stay dry, stay warm, and join me for the sweepstake tomorrow. All the best.
If you do not have a clue, then just tweet through and ask FX Blue.